Hi guys and welcome. We're just waiting for a couple of more attendees. We should be starting in around 2 minutes from now. Right guys, I think we're almost ready to start. Just a quick note, there will be a live recording available after this webinar. As well as if you guys have any questions, you can just pop them into the Q&A section, please. Right, so hi everyone and welcome to the Sophos Live webinar on Intercept X with EDR. In today's session, we'll be looking at some core new features within endpoint detection and response version 3.0. I'll quickly run through the different type of subscriptions. Firstly, Sophos Intercept X. Intercept X blocks attacks by monitoring the file system, detecting any rapid encryption of files and terminating the process. It will even roll back the changes to files, leaving them as if they've never been touched. With Intercept X with EDR, we include endpoint detection and response with Intercept X, meaning you can hunt and detect active threats and remotely respond with precision. And should you decide to add managed threat detection and response, on top of this, you will receive a fully managed service from Sophos, which includes an expert team of threat hunting analysts detecting and responding to threats instantly. If we look at some of the problems facing IT and security teams today, 26% of IT teams' time spent is on managing security. Secondly, 2 out of 3 people say the budget for people and technology is too low, as well as 68% of data breaches takes more than a month to detect in some cases. With Intercept X with EDR, we start with the strongest protection so we can stop security breaches even before they can start. We can add expertise and not headcount, meaning we can detect and investigate suspicious activity with an AI-driven analysis, as well as we can provide the tools required to IT administrators to investigate potential incidents. The value of having the best protection in the industry means that we can lessen the burden on an EDR solution. This means that we're able to stop attacks and reduce the overall attack surface. The very best EDR solution on the market should have very little to do if you have the strongest protection. What's more, this significantly reduces the noise on the system and lightens the overall workload. With endpoint protection, we focus on determining if something is benign or malicious. But there's an area of uncertainty, a gray zone, which we call the gap. EDR is defined by the gap in the ability to make sense of it. However, other EDR tools are weak at protection. This means the gap is fairly large and filled with incidents that should have been stopped in the first place. Intercept X has the best protection, which not only means it has a smaller gap, but it leads to a lighter workload and less noise getting in the way. This will allow you to focus on the most important incidents in your organization. With InterceptX with EDR, we add expertise and not headcount. InterceptX with EDR can replicate tasks normally performed by skilled analysts, meaning organizations can add expertise without adding any additional staff. Unlike other EDR solutions which relies on highly skilled human analysts to ask questions and interpret data. InterceptX with EDR 3.0 brings critical capabilities to IT generalists and security analysts. Now, you cannot only conduct threat hunting to find stealthy threats in your environment, but you can also conduct IT hunting, which allows you to see and secure your network environment with IT operations. Essentially, you can search for anything. You can now easily ask IT operations questions that will make your IT team more efficient and more effective. Questions like, why is my machine slow? Is it pending a reboot? Are critical services running, and are there any programs on machines that should be removed? Search queries are also now available out of the box, whereby administrators can either use the default out of the box queries or create their own custom queries with the new Live Discover feature. Live Discover allows analysts to ask threat hunting questions such as what processes are trying to make a standard connection on a non-standard port. List detected indicators of compromise mapped to the MITRE attack framework, which allows you to find specific types of PowerShell executions. As well as the new feature, we can track down processes disguised as services.exe. We can now ask questions about what is happening in the past as well as what is happening now. Live Discover allows you to examine your data for almost any question you can think of by searching across multiple endpoints and servers with SQL queries. You can choose from a selection of pre-created queries that can be fully customized to pull the exact information that you need. Also note, up to 90 days on disk historical data is available with the new Live Discover feature. With Live Response, you can remotely remediate managed devices with a command line interface. You can now uninstall, install software, change configuration settings, terminate processes, reboot devices, as well as review audit logs of changes made by administrators. Note you can only use this function with multi-factor authentication enabled. If we look at some of the benefits of IT operations and threat hunting, we can see that we work faster by identifying and remediating threats almost instantly with EDR. We can do more with less resources. With adding expertise and not headcount, InterceptX Advanced with EDR can replicate tasks normally performed by skilled analysts. So essentially with EDR, you can stay ahead with targeted threat hunting, conduct deeper investigations, and respond faster to incidents. Some of the key differentiators with regards to Sophos endpoint detection and response are, it's built for IT generalists and security analysts. Out-of-the-box customizable search queries are available with the new Live Discover feature, as well as up-to-date 90 days on-disk data retention is available. Right guys, let's have a quick look at a demo I've prepared on EDR with live queries. Right guys, so I've already got a console open here. Right, firstly, to use the live response feature, you'll need to enable your multi-factor authentication for your administrators that's going to be using this function. As well as down here, you'll have to enable live response for endpoints if you want to use it on that platform or for servers. So it's pretty easy. You just enable this slider bar over here. Right, so I'll just quickly go to one of my devices here. This is actually my desktop machine over here. So as you guys can see, we've got a live response new feature here. So I can just click on that. Right, and I'm actually on this box now. Right, so essentially with live response, we can install and uninstall software from here. We can change configuration settings, terminate processes. We can reboot our devices. We can even send updates to the machines from here. So this tool works really nice to remotely log onto your endpoints and servers with a command line interface. So you can do a lot of things from here, but you're going to need the commands to actually do it. Right, so that's just the new live discover feature we have. Live response feature we have. To get to the new live discover feature, you're basically just going to go to our threat analysis center on Sophos Central. You're going to go to live discover over here. Unfortunately, I don't have too many devices on my console over here. So if you had, for instance, multiple devices, you could have added a filter. So you could search by name, type, operating system, last user, group IP address, or health status. Right, I already earlier selected my devices, but essentially what you would do, you would say update selected, and if you click on your selected devices here, you would see your selected devices, which you select. All right, so that part's now done. I've selected my devices. I'm just going to minimize that. Right, so now to get to the interesting parts over here, Sophos has released their own custom-built SQL queries. You can also create your own ones here if you wanted to. So we've already got a couple of pre-configured queries here. So anomalies, unexpected activity, or network connections, meter attack queries based on attack tactics and techniques. Got some compliance queries here, device queries, event queries, file queries, network queries, and then some threat hunting queries down here. So for this demo, I'm just going to show you guys two basic queries over here. So we'll just use maybe device queries and network queries. Right, so within this category, as you guys can see, there's a couple of queries we can actually use. Just 1 second. Right, so let's just pick CPU information, right? So what this query is going to do is going to look for your device ID, your model, your manufacturer, process type, CPU status, and all of these things down here. All right, so I'm just quickly going to run it. It's going to be running for all three of my machines. Give it a second, yeah. Right, so as we can see, that's actually my desktop machine, and then I've got two VMs, the XG server is a VM and the demo PC as well. So here we can see they all have i5 processors. We can see the CPU status. We can see the number of cores on them. If I scroll a bit this side, we should see the clock speed and the max clock speed. You can also see the socket designation. As well as if we scroll down a bit here, we can see the device telemetry info over here. So we can see the process actually went through excellent. This is my execution time in milliseconds. The data transfer it did. We can see it finished okay, as well as we can see the operating system and the IP address it was using. Right, so let's just quickly do another example over here. So I'll do one now on the network queries. So let's just use network interface details, all right? So as you guys can see again, this query specifies the connection ID, the description, the interface, the MAC address, the type, and yeah, there's a couple of things down there as well. So I'll just quickly run this query again on these machines. Right, so I'll just use this first server as an example. So we can see it's using an Intel gigabit network adapter. See the manufacturer is Intel. Interface it's using number 12. We can see my MAC address over here. You can see the MTU speed, the metric it's using. And we can see the connection status. Also over here we can see when the DHCP lease is expiring. You can also see the DHCP server. So there's quite a lot of information that we can get from these search queries. And essentially you can build your own queries as well to specifically look for your specific functions that you want to test. Right, so essentially that's how you would use the Live Discover feature to run SQL queries against your endpoints and servers. Right, guys, so with the EDR solution struggle today, traditional EDR products have a number of challenges in common between them. Filling a big bucket of data and sifting through it takes a lot of time and money to get to the best out of it. If you look at our competitive solution as demoed, they will often use human intuition and prior experience to make connections between events. It takes a lot of time and money to acquire these skills, to become a security expert, and to get value out of the solution. This will yet be another solution that you have to maintain, manage, and monitor, which stands separate from your primary endpoint, server, and network solutions. Another interface, another set of patterns, another way of doing things, adding to the overheads of your solution. A number of EDR solutions which focus on detecting threats after they have been executed are now quickly trying to add basic or proactive protection features into their products. These vendors are unproven and their solutions are nowhere near as mature as those from leading vendors such as Sophos. To summarize, with Intercept X, we focus on the best protection to stop the widest range of threats. With Intercept X Advanced with EDR, we focus on providing your internal team with the tools to improve IT operations, as well as conduct their own threat hunting investigations. And lastly, with Managed Threat Detection and Response, MTR, we provide threat hunting and response as a service after hours or 24/7. Right, guys, do we have any questions at this point?
No questions so far. You can carry on.
Right, just give it a second because the presentation is basically done now. I've got one slide left, so if no one has questions, I'll just give it maybe 2 minutes. Right, guys, I don't think there's any questions coming in, so I think we're good. I hope everyone understood the live queries and things. If you guys do have any questions with regards to the live queries and you want some more info and some more technical background about it, feel free to pop me an email, and we can just set up a one-on-one session, and I can maybe show you guys the forensic queries and those things as well.
Oh, I have added your email to the
Okay, great.
chat.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys, and that brings us to the end of this Sophos presentation. In summary, we have now discussed a few of the key benefits and features of endpoint detection and response, as well as we've seen the new Live Discover feature in action. So thank you guys for your time and for joining the Sophos Live webinar. I hope to see you all next time.
Rudy, I've got a question.
All right.
Can you maybe explain more about the MTR with EDR? Will everything be managed by Sophos?
So basically with MTR, so you get Intercept X with EDR, where your IT team is basically managing all the threats. With MTR, you add a basically an extra subscription on top of your EDR, which is then managed by Sophos. They will install 2 services on your antivirus, which is kind of like Darktrace, so it monitors your machines and all those things. So as soon as you actually pick up a threat, they will contact you, or if you gave them the instruction to just remediate the threat instantly, they will do that for you. But essentially, they will be doing all the work for you, and you don't need to do anything like with a normal team where you're just going to use the EDR function. I hope that answers your question on that one. Any other questions, Edward?
Nothing has come through yet. I think we are good for now.
All right. If you guys do get any questions and you want to ask a question, feel free to just pop me an email then, and we'll have a look at that. Sorry, you were saying, Edward?
No, Duan was asking for the recording. The recording will be available. We will email everyone the recording and the presentation after this.
Right. I think we're all good. Yeah, thanks for joining, guys, and yeah, we'll see you on the next webinar.